Hi, I'm Mikeman. After more than 200 hours spent on Mount and Blade Bannerlord, I've decided to make another video about it. I've eliminated all the Empire in my 4th playthrough, and I had a pretty straightforward conquest of all Calderia in my 5th one. It took a bit over 2 in-game years and a fair amount of mounted archers to do so, but it was not hard. The highlight of the final battle was the suicidal charge of the overconfident Meldir, attacking me with an army 5 times smaller. After I dispatched his poorly trained men and besieged their last castle, then what? There is no endgame here. Starting a new game is the only option. Building a new character with different units or focusing on different skills maybe. I wanted a roguery playthrough, but almost half of those skills don't work as intended in early access, so I knew that is gonna frustrate me. Reddit saved me. They suggested an only companion playthrough. Is that even possible? I decided to give it a try. My new character is going to be a Bethanian, with all the attribute points in endurance, since both riding and athletics will help with controlling the fighting field, where you and your companions will always be outnumbered. Bonus point, riding with scouts during your youth gives you a nice cloak. Plus, I decided to make my money through blacksmithing this time. With a healthier horse, I went to meet Ragea, like any well-behaved simp should do. After she gave me her blessing, I went to the nearest town and on my way faced my first looters. The strategy here is simple and it should be used as much as possible, riding around them and creating a mob that allows you to pamper them with arrows. I used the axe on the last one for the theatrical effect. Sweet victory and my first loot in the bag, I continued my way to Licarion, where I had to wait for the day, hoping to rise my medical skill while doing it. In the morning, the arena opened and I went there, but unfortunately no tournament. I asked the master, where do I find one nearby? And I went on my way. On the road there, I checked the surrounding villages for easy quest, and lucky me, I had one worth 400 dinars just one village away. A little bit more richer now, I went to the town that the arena master pointed me towards and joined the tournament. Confident as I am, I usually bet as much as I can on myself. The odds are good at the beginning, but become less favorable towards the end when people realize how good you are. You can usually bet 4 times during the stages you're involved in, and ending up with twice the money you invested. The secret is to support your mates in the teamfights and try to give them shots at enemy. Do the circling strategy, moving constantly towards their left while always swinging high, as even in veteran difficulty they do not protect their health properly. After winning my first tournament, I start looking for companions, as this is the main focus of this playthrough. Optimally, I'm looking for somebody with high bow skills and decent melee skills. For utility, maybe a scout and a surgeon. Gertlind won't make the team unfortunately this season. On my way to the next town, I hunted a couple of bandits and all the looters I could find. It doesn't matter if they are 4 or 11, the walking dead mob method works, and because I bought a cheap second quiver, I had enough arrows for everybody. In the next town, I sell all the rugs I got and buy some hardwood to start my smithing career. I started by creating some coal, then start smelting mostly wooden hammers and pitchforks that are actually the main weapons of the looters. They produce more hardwood that you invested in. With mechanics like this, I understand why the stamina was implemented, to circumvent the continuous loop of experience. And yet, after winning the tournament in this town, I went towards the next one, repeating the process. Hunt looters along the way, waited out in a city to heal the looters' inflicted wounds, recovering stamina, go to smithy, then join the tournament again. In Akalat, I found Gunefer that looks like a suitable companion. The thing with Companion is that you don't know their skills distribution until you recruit them. Guinevere, the Alone, had the name that fitted the theme, and some scouting and bow skills that I was looking for. This is what the encyclopedia showed me. Only after I recruited her, I could see her real points distribution. She had 6 points in cunning with no focus points in scouting, but that can be filled in 5 levels. As a comparison, the other character that I have recruited, Rilan, had the same level of scouting initially, but only 1 point in cunning, making him a terrible scout. I'm still gonna keep the cow thief as he is skilled in the bow department, but I feel like he kinda lied in his CV. After 5 tournaments and around 70 looters, I reached my clown renown level 1 and went to find Ragea again to offer her my mercenary skills. I choose her as she is one of the 4 leaders that had the generosity perk, and she doesn't have any negative trait to influence her decisions towards me. Plus, we have been acquainted before, hence she's bound to love me. She offered me 110 for my services. Not the best, but not the worst daily pay. With the newly acquired feeling of belonging to a greater cause, it was time for me to find a husband. I choose to marry because your spouse will behave like a companion without counting towards the cap, and if you choose well, he will be most skilled warrior in your army. In the previous installment of Mount and Blade Warbound, being a woman would greatly decrease the chances to get some land and respect. In this one, I could not detect a difference of attitude towards male or female character, suggesting a much more gender-balanced society. But you can still get triggered if you really want it, as life would always find a way. For example, with all this surface equality, men still have it easier. If you plan to marry one of the king's daughters, they will mostly be waiting in a keep for you to woo them. Their sons, however, are wandering around with their own armies and needed to be tracked down. So I tracked down Kagan, one of the Khuzait prince, with a lot of warrior skills, as utility would not be very useful for what I'm trying to do here. Once I found him, I gave him some money to make sure that he likes me a bit more, then charm him by talking about my traveling experiences. And they said nobody would be interested in my wanderlust that I proudly posted in my dating profile. I proved them all wrong today. He asked me to come and find him in a few days. So I returned to hunting looters and win tournaments. It was at this stage when I realized my companions seemed a bit underwhelming while fighting looters. True, they were undergeared, and usually I give them the weapons they were not proficient in to make sure they level faster, as it takes only a few successful swings to jump from level 1 to level 10, for example, but hours of siege battle to jump from level 201 to 210. Even so, they will have to perform better or I'm gonna kick them out of the clan. Especially Temestios, who is not very smart for a field doctor with only 3 points in intelligence, and his focus points are spread out in the weirdest way. He will be the first one to go when I will find a suitable replacement. After I did my thing, I went down to find my fiancé once more. He was angry that I let more than a couple of days pass until I found him again. I do not know if I should feel offended or appreciated. I chose the latter for the good of my future kingdom. At least he thought about me. After I charmed him again, he told me that I needed to seek his father's approval. I decided to be a progressive woman and went looking for his father. I found him nearby and he asked for money to allow me to marry his son. I paid the man the price of 3 good horses and got his son into my army. And they said I have a fear of commitment. A mere 2 months in, I had a mighty 7-man army, a strong father-in-law, and enough renown to go back to my queen to ask for a promotion, hoping she will give me a castle soon. Time to test my team's mantle in a big boy battle. Let's see if they are good enough to siege with. I hope the enemy is ready for us, cause here we come.